Joining us now is Bill Walker. He's a spokesman for Jim Balsillie. Mr. Walker, what does this ruling today mean for Mr. Balsillie and the bid to get the Phoenix team?
Well, it's another step in the process for us, moving forward. We anticipated getting a chance to put this bid of Jim Balsillie's to auction in bankruptcy court. That's all we ever asked for at the beginning of the process, and now we're going to get that opportunity. I think it's a better story and a better indication for hockey fans in Canada who maybe wondered whether the bid was still going forward. Now they know that at least the bid will be heard, and Canada has a good chance to land a seventh team.
Now, has Mr. Balsillie been tempted to just give up the fight? It seems to have become apparent that he's not really welcome around the table with the other NHL governors.
He's never been tempted. He's a guy that perseveres, and he has a real passion for hockey, personally, as a recreational hockey player, but also as, he talks about growing up in Peterborough and playing minor hockey and dreaming one day of playing in the NHL. This is his chance as an adult, as a business person, to kind of make that dream come true in a way, and to bring, hockey closer to a lot of great hockey fans in Southern Ontario. So he's very determined, and, he's looking forward to the next steps as we move forward.
What must also be heartening is the fact that there are two apparently other interested parties here. Neither one appears to want to leave the team in Phoenix. Even Jerry Reinsdorf, who said he'll leave it there for a while, wants ultimately to move it, and he's looking for all kinds of concessions.
Dan, that's right. And I think the issue really is a question of the viability of the franchise in Phoenix. I mean, we certainly respect the NHL's right to try to keep franchises in the locations where they are and have some stability. But on the other hand, franchises have moved before. This franchise was in Winnipeg, as you know. The Quebec Nordique went to Colorado. And when a franchise is no longer viable, or it requires hundreds of millions of dollars in subsidies, you have to look at a market like Southern Ontario and a prospective owner like Jim Balsillie, who can fund a franchise and say, this is a long-term solution to this issue. It's not just patching up a bad situation and throwing good money after bad.
If I can ask you a couple of money questions. One is, we know the figure was kicked around last time when Mr. Balsillie got involved. Would that figure change? Would he bump it up a little bit to beef up the bid if there's an auction, or does he reduce it this time?
Well, you've seen, Dan, all the zigs and zags that this bankruptcy procedure has taken, and that's typical of a bankruptcy court procedure. A lot of curves in the road, so we try to not forecast too far into the future, just stay in the here and now. But I can tell you, all Jim Balsillie has ever wanted was, as I said before, to get into this auction and get a chance to win the team, and he's pretty determined to do that. So read into it what you will, but I think once he gets a chance to be at that table, he's looking to come out the winner.
Okay, another money question, but it's got nothing to do with what you guys are putting up. It's the relocation fee that the National Hockey League talked about the first time round. If you're the only bid on the table, do you think they'd still do that to you?
Oh, sure. It's perfectly feasible to have a relocation fee. The judges acknowledge that, the judge who's in charge of this sale through the bankruptcy court. But the judges also acknowledge that the relocation fee needs to be a reasonable one, not punitive, and it's suggested even that were he to find it to be so, he might just impose that is state what the relocation fee will be on his own. But having said all that, these are issues, we would love to have that Hollywood problem, Dan. We would love to have that problem.
If everything goes perfectly, if he does get the team, you're so late in the summer now, do you have time to get the team to Hamilton and start of a new season?
Well, once again, it's still one of those questions for down the road, but it's looking less and less like that might be possible. We'll have to see. I mean, the Coyotes play an exhibition game September 15th against the LA Kings. So, and the schedule's set. What we've said to the NHL and to the bankruptcy court is that we want to be sensible about this. If the NHL has concerns about keeping its schedule intact, we're sensitive to that. We filed a motion saying we're willing to keep the team in Phoenix for 1 year, 09-10, before relocating to Hamilton in 10-11. And if that comes to pass, that's fine. Our main focus is on getting into that auction, getting our bid on the table, and showing that Jim has the best bid is a great owner. We have a great market in Ontario and a great arena.
Bill Walker is a spokesperson for Jim Balsillie. Nice to see you, sir. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Dan.